It's a sunny Saturday afternoon north of the Italian capital as you join us for race two, round two of the 2026 Italian F4 Championship here at Vallelunga. It's the second of four races here this weekend. If you're just joining us, Lucas Summerlist raced away to take victory this morning in the first, what is effectively a group race. It is his teammate Ed Robinson who took his first ever outright pole position in the Italian Championship. The British Spaniard will start from pole position in just a moment, just alongside David Cosman-Christopher, who was given a post-race penalty after crossing the line in P2 this morning. Nice to have your company. It is the 13th season of the world's most competitive junior racing series. 43 drivers from 28 nations around the world here at this historic circuit, which hosted the Roman Grand Prix right up until 1991. Christian Costoya is on the grid, speaking with Laura Kohler.
Hello everyone, here we are with James Wharton. Hi James.
Hello, it's good to be here.
So first of all, have you recovered from the accident in Melbourne?
Yeah, we're back to full health now. I was in the car last week, so it feels good to be back.
Hey, it was good, remembering?
Yeah, remembering was nice. It's good to be back in the car after such a long time. It's not like F4 where we're driving every week, so we have a lot of time out of the car, but being able to get fit again, and now we're going back to Monaco in a couple of weeks' time.
You won the Italian Formula 4 in the 2023, so a lot of good memories for you here.
Yeah, of course. It's always going to be good to be back in this paddock. I spent 2 years in this paddock, and at the end of the day, I need to try and remember where I come from. So it's good to be back, and this week something different for me, and helping out Christian this week, so I hope he has a good time.
And memories in Vallelunga as well?
Yeah, definitely. Vallelunga was a good weekend for me, but overall, just Italian F4 is one of the best championships out there, so I feel everyone has to be here.
Here we are with Christian Costoya.
Yeah, with Christian this weekend, it's his first season of Formula, so a lot of steps to make, but I hope I can give him some of my, let's say, expertise.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We got directly to Christian. Hello, so how do you feel for the race?
I feel very good. I think the pace is there for quite a lot of positive things for this weekend, so now I try to put everything together and do our best in the race.
How James have helped you for the race?
I know him very well from the past years. A very good coach. He's helping definitely to improve in my development. So yeah, I'm thankful for him, and hopefully we continue like this.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Christian Costoya, and also very special thanks to James Wharton, the current Prema Formula 3 driver recovering from that nasty crash in Melbourne. He will be on track in the Monaco Formula 1 Grand Prix event in a few weeks' time, fresh from the Red Bull Ring where he was testing just a few days ago, imparting his knowledge. Of course, he is a former race winner in 2023 with the Prema Racing team in the Italian F4 Championship. If memory serves correct, actually did win here at Vallelunga. Well, the shadows are getting longer. Before we go to the race, let's hear from Laura once again with Florentine Hattemauer.
Hi Florentine, so very great start for you in Misano, and this morning the rookie podium.
Yeah, so I think it's been a good part of the team, especially for the team also, with the new. And yeah, they first I'll try to do my best to make sure the rest of it my plan. So do what I can. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Florentine Hattemauer, the young Swiss rookie, had a rookie podium this morning. Yes, you can see the shadows are getting longer. It is a beautiful spring afternoon. We are about 30 kilometres north of the Italian capital. This is the Vallelunga circuit, which started life, would you believe, as a half-mile dirt track for horse racing back in the 1950s. It's the second round of the 2026 championship. There is the pole set down to the bottom left of your screen, completely underneath the shadow, being covered by the grandstand here at Vallelunga. Ed Robinson, the Brit from Mallorca in the middle of the Mediterranean, to start on pole position for the German AS Racing team, who took victory this morning with Lucas Summerlist. David Cosman-Christopher. Now, he was given a post-race penalty this morning for contact with the Brazilian Pedro Lima. He was in the wall and did retire. David Cosman-Christopher did cross the line in position 2. Also involved was the other Van Amersfoort racing driver, Alexander Ruta, who did rejoin after a pit stop. So David Cosma Christopher was dropped down, given a 10-second penalty. That elevated Alex Savinkov into second place. Al Baksoy cements his lead in the championship, third in the series, or third in the race this morning, but first in the series. Noah Kilian therefore inherited fourth position. And Roman Carmiel, what about the Brit? On debut, finishing fifth overall this morning. So 43 drivers from around the world. The track capacity as the field stretches back underneath the Regione Lazio sign around Roma. This is Robinson. Both the flags of the United Kingdom and Spain on his helmet there. As we go to the other side of the grid, the driver from Bucharest in Romania, who was fastest in his group in qualifying 24 hours ago, almost to the minute. He took pole position outright here last year with PHM Racing in the rain. DCC starts out of grid 2, where he crossed the line this morning. There's a 36-car grid capacity, so we have to split the field into two groups. This is the grid for qualifying race A versus B. Robinson on pole, DC out to Marcignani, the Roman here in Rome out of 3, and Al Baksoy, the championship leader, out of 4. We go to the third row of the grid, and what about David Walter Fresh of 2 fantastic podiums for Murphy Racing at Misano, Andy Consani, the Mercedes Junior, Ian Kralik, and Thomas Behrman, who had a good strong run to P6 this morning. He won last year in British Formula 4. Starting out of grid 9 is the Swedish-Italian New Zealander from Monaco. Yes, it's Oscar Roberto alongside the Australian Noah Kilian Costoya, who just spoke to Laura a moment ago, and the Swiss rookie Florentin Hatema. Starting out of grid 13 is the Sicilian Ludovico Busso. Kingsley Zheng, a costly DNF this morning, unfairly apportioning blame to Adam Severokin, and with Nicolas Cortez made contact with his driver Becco Bernoldi on track for the first time today, as is the German Elia Weiss, who was on track for Porsche in the Formula E test in Berlin last year. Bader Al Salati, the Qatari, is alongside Lima, who DNF'd this morning. Augustus Toniolo, Dos Meninos do Brasil, and Eva Michelini, who came home in the points this morning. Roland Kuklane, Dominic Šimek from the Czech Republic, Fabrizio Fogazza, and Emily Cotti. She's out of grid 24, the second New Zealander, on track for the first time today. For the Real Racing team from Denmark, Knud Nielsen, Thomas Genda, and Luba Roykov, Federico Diaz for the Alfa 54 team, the Argentinian driver for the Argentinian team, Vittorio Orsini for AKM Antonelli Motorsport out of grid 29. Just on that, yes, the new team for 2026 as the green flag flies and the field sets off. Federico Diaz starting back on grid 28. Tiago Palapini injured in a testing accident here on Thursday with a wrist fracture, so he's out for the weekend. Look at the size of the field. This is just 29 of the 43 drivers here this weekend. The track capacity of this 4-kilometre Vallelunga Roman circuit, it's 4,085 metres, so we'll call it 4.1 kilometres. As Andy Consani goes through with David Walter. You look at car 6, that was Oscar Roberto. So 29 drivers in this group. The original 43 entries, group races this morning, this evening, now, and tomorrow morning, the final 36 to make it onto the grid for tomorrow afternoon's final. 28 nations all around the world here. The most competitive junior racing series in the world, the British Spaniard for the German team on pole, the Romanian for Prema Racing out of grid 2. 3 Brazilians in this race. What about Eva Michelini? Buenos dias todos in Costa Rica, who are watching on live from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, sideways out of the final corner into the gravel. But Evan Michelini for the AKM Motorsport team in car 44 came home in the points just this morning, looking for another strong result here this afternoon. There's Andy Consani, the Mercedes AMG Junior. Car 30 for the RSGP team. This is Costoya in car 1, the McLaren Junior. Robinson, his first pole position 24 hours ago in the Italian Championship. Consani in car 30 out of La Curva the Roman curve. For the final time, one part of the circuit, one original part of the circuit, which still maintains the shape, the original horse racing circuit. It was gravel, it was dirt back in the late 1940s. This is La Curva Roma. There's Knut Nielsen in 41 for the Real Racing Team, the Danish driver who raced with us in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy in Wackersdorf just a few weeks ago. The sole entry for the moment for the Real Racing Team. Very professional outfit. Just the one car this weekend here in Rome with Knut Nielsen. Robinson in the shadow of the grandstand here at Vallelunga on pole position. Nice to have your company as you join us live around the world. Round 2, race 2, the Italian F4 Championship here at Vallelunga. The green flag flies at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights for the second time here in Rome. We race. Great getaway initially from Robinson, and then struggles as he puts it into second here. Maccagnani from the second row of the grid. Ranges up on the inside, on the outside. Maccagnani, the Roman races on by. The Bremen drivers, 2, 3, 4, muscling up on Robinson, who's lost the lead. The red and white machines go first and second. Robinson around the outside. Cosmo Christopher, Axo is there as well. Nicola Maccagnani, the Roman here in Rome, who's got the race lead. But there, Al Salati into the gravel. The Qatari brings it back on track. Coming together with one of the Van Amersfoort Racing Team drivers. Robinson back into second place. A sensational start. Nicola Maccagnani with the race lead. Robinson still in second place. That was Aksoy putting the left rear into the gravel, onto the grass. There's Consani. Andy moves up into third place. Nice start by the Frenchman. A clean start, a fantastic launch from Nicola Maccagnani. Race winner of the first round in Misano. Technically not a rookie, but it is his first full year in the Italian F4 Championship. As we see Cosmo Christopher going very wide. In fact, it was Aksoy. Aksoy going wide. Cosmo Christopher in 98. Aksoy in 10. Maccagnani with the race lead. Consani's gone through into position 2. And he is flying here this afternoon through the chicane. The end of the first lap. The second race, the second round, the Italian F4 Championship. There is Costoya behind Noah Kilian, ahead of Ian Kralik, Repetto, Florentin Hattemark. Good start from Kingsley Cheng. But as Maccagnani across the line for the first time in P1. Consani, Robinson, Aksoy, Thomas. It's Behrman into P5. Great start from the Brit. Cosmo Christopher, head of Walter, who's dropped back to 7th place. Walter on the outside. Walter off the road. Walter into the gravel. He's thrown it away after 2 fantastic podiums at Misano. Will rejoin, but way down at the bottom of the field. What a disaster. That was not so great from the Dane. David Walter brings it back on track. He is still in the race, but he's way down in 27th place. Going wide, Noah Kilian losing a position. Costoya goes by. In fact, it was Ian Kralik in the other US racing car. Good start from Bernoldi as well. I just say that. And he comes together with his Czech teammate, Dominic Šimek. Or does Šimek come together with Bernoldi? They've got an US racing car just ahead of us, Ludovico Busso. Let's hope it's just sand coming out the bottom of his car and not smoking. This a replay just a few moments ago. Maccagnani holding it and taking the lead. Meanwhile, Roland Kuglane down into Chimney 2 on the first lap of the race. Into the gravel, Bader Al Salati and Pedro Lima. It's been a tough weekend for the Brazilian. And there's David Walter with the left side of the car, was in the grass, off the road, into the runoff, into the gravel. David Walter has an almighty task to do. He's down in 27th position. Kilian loses the place. In fact, Kralinger was. Repetto goes through the Kiwi. And then Florentin Hattemark, the Swiss rookie, head of Czech Busso. Elia Weiss and Dominic Shimak in the final points paying position. We'll keep an eye on David Walter. He's still in the race, but way down in 27th place. Makanyani with the race lead from Consani, Robinson, Axoy, and Thomas Behrman. Crowling on the outside, trying to take the Kiwi, Oscar Roberto. Crowling in 62, there's Oscar on the outside. And the German takes the PHM Racing driver. The two German teams here in the Italian Championship. There is Florentine just behind in car 50. Marcagnani with the race lead at 7/10 of a second. From the Mercedes Junior, the Ferrari Junior leads. You look at the McLaren Junior, Costoya in position 8. Bernoldi and Shimak go through. There's Bader Al Salati. Good start from Nud Nielsen up into P17 in the real racing car. Kingsley Zhang on your screen, 12th behind Hatama. Costoya goes through from Quali, Roberto Hatama. Car 6 is Oscar as they race down the fastest part of the circuit. Through the King at 237 kilometres an hour. And the championship leader with a 35.480, fastest at this early stage of the race. So David on the back of Thomas. Cosman Christopher started second on the grid. He's now back into P6, but Thomas Behrman has had a good, strong weekend thus far. The Van Amersfoort, the top Van Amersfoort racing car at the moment. He's got by as Cosman Christopher on Behrman as you look at Vittorio Orsini down in pit lane. And for the moment, seemingly going nowhere. So this is at the race lead. Maccagnani, Consani, Robinson, and Alpac Soy. Comfortably the first rookie as well. And the outright championship leader is the young Turk in car 10, Cosman Christopher. He says Robinson. You can see both the Spanish flag and the Union flag on the top of his helmet. The Brit from Mallorca in Spain, car 9 for the German team. Here north of the Italian capital. Robinson in third. Fastest qualifier yesterday was Ed with a 134.378. As Costoya goes through the 5-time WSK International Kart Racing Champion, the driver from Galicia in the very northwest of Spain, just a few miles from the Atlantic coast, the Bay of Biscay, and goes through. Thomas in P6, his older brother Ollie watching on from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean before he gets aboard that Haas F1 car for this afternoon's or tomorrow's Canadian Formula One Grand Prix. Of course, winning this title and at this very circuit, a race winner was Ollie back in 2021 for the Van Amersfoort racing team. Incidentally, the same race number as well. Ollie taking number 87 to that victory in the championship half a decade ago now. And that's his younger brother, Thomas, still in P6 from Noah Gillian and Costoya. Maccagnani, the gap is 1 second. Back to Consani, Robinson, Axoy, Cosman Christopher, Behrman, Noah Gillian. This is Costoya. The Ferrari Junior, the Roman here in Rome. Maccagnani comes out of Samafaro, the slowest corner in the championship. Seemingly walking pace. They're still doing 60 kilometres an hour through that very tight hairpin and then accelerating hard up into the Roma corner. La Curva Roma. Cosman Christopher. Behind Axoy. Robinson, car 9. So we start lap 6. The gap still just on 1 second. Back to Andy Consani. Flat downhill through the King. And now Axoy having to defend from his Prema Racing teammate, the Turk from the Romanian. The Roman leads here in Rome. On the inside, this is great racing for the moment for the Prema Racing duo. Axoy from Cosman Christopher. Robinson tries the outside. on Andy Consani. There's grip on the outside, but Andy just goes into the corner, leans on him into the marbles. That did not work for Robinson, and the gap goes out another 1/10 of a second to Makanyani. Consani defends. Aksoy on the back, or ahead of David Cosmo Christopher. We'll check the gap next time because Nicola Makanyani, you can visibly see he's pulling away from the gap for second place. Consani, Robinson, pole sitter yesterday for the first time in the Italian F4 Championship. Consani, the Mercedes Junior, out of Samacparo, the slowest corner in the series, as we say. Just a 5th and a 7th place. Not much to show for Andy Consani at Misano. As we see, car 13 for the Arts Racing team off the road and out. It's the Australian Noah Killian. It looks as though his day is done. Contact with Costoya. Well, they were fighting for position. Costoya trying to limp back to pit lane. And Noah, you can see the severe damage to the right rear. The car undrivable off to the side of the circuit. Just a local yellow only for the moment. Lock up from Cosmo Christopher. Close to the back of his teammate Aksoy. So we stay green. It is just a local yellow. Killian's car is a mile off the side of the circuit. Again, not literally, but well off the racing line. That's great officiating from our race director, Mr. Dino Lodela, as Costoya, furious, pulls into pit lane. He'll be hoping the safety car comes out. That's unlikely. As we see Cosmo Christopher and Aksoy continuing to fight. Behrman in the background. Our race director, Mr. Dino Lodela, with assistant race director, Ms. Susanna Coletta. Driver advisors, Mr. Rino Mastronati, Gabriele Lantieri, and representing the Automobile Club of Italy, Raffaele John Maria. As we see into the gravel, Dominic Shimek. In fact, it was Lima Antoniolo. This does bring out the safety car, and that may well save Costoya's afternoon. Makanyani, a gap of 1.5 seconds, disintegrates. He was pulling away. He had the race under control. Costoya down in pit lane, seemingly about to go a lap down as the leader goes by. It will be, though, the Lamborghini Urus safety car with the race lead. This just a few moments ago, over the grass, over the ripple strip. Can you believe Dos Meninos do Brasil, the two boys from Brazil, Pedro Lima and Augustus Toniolo, have taken each other out? The two countrymen. Wow. Toniolo and Lima come together, and the safety car does erode the advantage that Nicola Makanyani had built up. Costoya still stuck down in pit lane. There is more damage than a puncher to car one, and Costoya seemingly will join Noah Killian, Vittorio Orsini, Lima Antoniolo as the first 5 retirements from the second race, the second round of the Italian F4 Championship here this afternoon. So the order is Makanyani, the gap 1.45 seconds. It was. Now you can see it's barely a car length. Consani, Robinson, Aksoy, Cosmo Christopher, Behrman in 6 from Kralingit 7, and Repetto, who's the second rookie. Hatama, Florentan, just going through there at the bottom of your screen, who spoke to Lauda before the race. On the rookie podium for the moment once again, Jean Pusso, Elia Weiss, Shimek Bernaldi, and Bader Al-Salati has worked his way into the final points-paying position ahead of Nud Nielsen in the sole Real Racing driver, Real Racing car in this weekend. There is car 41 of the Dane. So Lima and Toniolo both out of this race, as is Noah Killian with damage to the right rear. Cosman Christopher. David, 98, fastest qualifier yesterday, lapping this 4,085 metre circuit in a 1:34.523. Robinson, though, fastest overall for his first pole in the Italian series. Ian Kralik with a 35.127 is in P7 at the moment and currently the fastest driver on the circuit. So Macagnani with the race lead. We expect there to be one more lap under safety car. And then we'll go back green to the checkered flag, race 2, as the sun will soon set here on a Saturday afternoon north of the city, which was once the centre of the known universe, the centre of the Roman Empire, the 1960 host city of the Olympic Games. This is Vallelunga, north of Rome, the second of 7 rounds for 2026. Macagnani, Consani, Robinson, Aksoy, waiting for word from race control. This is Behrman going through. Thomas, 87 in P6. His Brazilian teammate, Pedro Lima, has just retired, along with Toniolo. Look at the debris on the side of the circuit. Stones scattered across the bitumen here this afternoon, just off the racing line. Macagnani, Andy Consani and Robinson looking for his first victory in the Italian F4 Championship. And it would be the second win for us racing here this weekend. Going off into the grass, one of the Gensa drivers in avoidance, seemingly. In fact, it may well have been Evan Michelini. Forcazza, Fabrizio, in avoidance, has thrown the car into the grass to avoid running into the back of car 44, the Costa Rican Michelini. Forcazza, that was close. And the safety car will stay out. Repetto in car 6, in position 8, this under safety car. Oh, there was contact. It was more than avoidance. So there was big damage to Fabrizio Forcazza's car and the driver from Sao Paulo. We've lost 3 Brazilians in the last few moments. So much support from South America. We remember 12 months ago, it was Gabriel Gomez who took victory here for the US Racing team. Forcazza is out. Pedro Lima and Augusto Toniolo, the 3 Brazilians, had taken themselves out in race 2 here this afternoon. So a prolonged safety car period here. Macagnani still with the race lead. Just controlling the pace, trying to keep that engine temperature down. That's been a big talking point, not so much during the racing, but coming up to the grid. They need the airflow to keep the air going through, or keep the temperatures. They were up to near on boiling point. In fact, over at Misano, tyre temperature, it's not a problem because the track temperature is almost 40 degrees Celsius as the sun sets here on a Saturday afternoon at Vallelunga. Still no word from race control regarding the safety car. There's Kingsley Zhang at 69 in P10. From the Sicilian Pulsar, Forcazza, his car coming back in inglorious fashion. So Noah Killian is out. The Sydney sider, Costoya, also has retired car 1. Vittorio Orsini was stuck down in pit lane at the end of the first lap. Pedro Lima, Augustus Toniolo, and Fabrizio Forcazza do Brasil out of race 2 here this afternoon. So frustratingly, the safety car eats up more time here in race 2 this afternoon. We were set to go green a moment ago. That's not the case as we recover Fabrizio Forcazza's car. It will make it tough for many of these drivers to remember 43 from around the world, fighting for positions on this 36 car grid, now being pushed to the side of the circuit in a desperate attempt to get the race back underway, hopefully next time round. This is Ludovico Busso going through, one of just 7 Italians in the National Series. It's the second of 7 rounds. It's the 13th season of the world's most competitive junior car racing series. 2 weeks ago at Misano, here this weekend at Vallelunga. From here we go to Monza, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. That's on the 21st of June. Mugello on the 26th of July. Imola on the 6th of September. There's the news we wanted to see to the bottom left of your screen. Misano on the 20th of September and the first day of November to decide the 13th champion of the Italian F4 Championship. Following in the footsteps of Lance Stroll back in 2014, Rolf Aron a year later, Marcus Siebert, the Argentine who won in 2016 for Jensen Motorsport, Marcus Armstrong, who lines up on the grid in the greatest spectacle in racing, the New Zealander, now an NTT IndyCar World Series driver. He won this championship in 2017. Then it was Enzo Fittipaldi. Dennis Alger, also on the grid tomorrow at Indianapolis. Gabriele Mini in 2020. Ollie Behrman in 21. Antonelli Andrea in 22. Casper Stuger in 23. Fast Freddy in 24. And the reigning champion, Kin Nakamura Berta, who won this title less than 12 months ago. So it will be a sprint to the checkered flag. Niccolo Maccagnani accelerates now, coming out of Samaforo into the chicane and slides wide, almost into the marbles. Does well to gather it back up. The final 4 minutes plus 1 lap into the Curva Roma. The green flag flies and we race to the checkered flag here this afternoon. Maccagnani, good restart from Consani. Robinson goes with, does Ed. Axoy, the championship leader, David Cosman Christopher. Into the slipstream goes Consani, the RSGP driver. Look at the restart from Robinson. They go down into Jiminy 1. Ed on the outside. Maccagnani puts car 19 in the middle of the circuit. Robinson around the outside. Ed tries to take Andy Consani. And that gives Niccolo Maccagnani just a bit of breathing space. The championship leader, Al Paxoy, just behind. It is on as we sprint to the checkered flag here this afternoon. Maccagnani in the middle of the circuit. Robinson around the outside. Surely he can't do that. Robinson runs out of road into the grass. Does not lift. He's on the outside. It becomes the inside. Ed Robinson. What a move. The move thus far of the season. And the fastest qualifier with an audacious pass. Spectacular from the Brit. Robinson goes through from position 3 to take the race lead. Wow, what a move from Mr. Ed. That was just spectacular. And now the Prema Racing trio have to fight amongst themselves. Here comes Ian Kralik. Repetto's just behind. Consani's in second place. Maccagnani, the Roman, he was headed to victory, and now he's falling off the podium. Maybe in trouble, slowing dramatically, trying to limp into pit lane. Robinson with the race lead from Andy Consani. Then it's Cosman Christopher. Maccagnani. Heartbreak for the Roman on his home circuit. Was racing away to victory and now has to limp to pit lane with a broken car. Repetto with Thomas Behrman.
Wow.
What a move from Robinson. He's got the race lead from Consani in the dying stages. We know, watching live around the world, that many of you were tempted to turn the channel. Wow, has this race not come alive here this afternoon at Vallelunga? Robinson from third at this very corner 1 lap ago has gone around the outside of Consani, has gone around the outside of Maccagnani. Robinson trying to give us racing their second victory in 6 hours here at Vallelunga. Consani, Cosmo Christopher, it's DCC, still in P3. Kralik, Aksoy, Behrman, Repetto, Zhang, Hatabao, Shimak, and Feast launching. Dominic Shimak backwards into the grass. Wow, he was in position 10. Let's hope he's not injured. That was a violent incident as the car landed back on the earth. He got 4 airborne, all 4 wheels off the circuit. We have seen back injuries from those sort of incidents in the past. Dominic Shimak facing the wrong way. Yes, just a moment ago, Dominic Shimak. Wheel to wheel on the outside, touching the rip wire that now. Quite simply. Oh boy. We've had this discussion many a time before. Ripple strip perpendicular to the racing line. And Dominic Shimak, let's hope the check is okay. So Robinson has got the race lead. We expect the last lap board to be displayed next time round. Andy Consani in second place. David Cosmo Christopher. There's Kralik, Aksoy, Behrman, head of Roberto Zhang, Florentin Hattemeyer off the rookie podium at the moment. Moved down the inside. Nicely done by Luba Roykov. And just ahead, it's Nord Nielsen. Has kept car 41 quick and clean. There's the Real Racing driver. A lock up just behind. That's Roykov and Bussell and Elia Weiss. Walter, remember him? DW, who was on the podium twice at Misano, off the road at the end of the first lap back to 27th. David Walter has fought back brilliantly. The Maffei Racing driver is now in 14th place. Roykov, Bussell, Elia Weiss, and DW. Light lock up there from Luba Roykov as the front right of the car gets very light and Robinson races away. Downhill into Chimney 1.1 seconds clear of the Mercedes Junior Andy Consani. Cosmo Christopher, another podium for the Romanian. Potentially moving into the championship lead, although Alp Aksoy is just 2 positions behind. Alp still in P5 and the top rookie. At this corner, 3 laps ago, Robinson with the move thus far of this season, around the outside of Consani, around the outside of Macagnani, who looked to be headed to victory. There's Elia Weiss trying to do the same move. He's raced with us for the best part of half a decade in WSK World Karting, even racing in KZ2. A tough year in various championships, just some races last year, as Cosmo Christopher on the outside will run out of road. Fastest qualifier, pole position with an unofficial lap record 24 hours ago here at Vallelunga. Us Racing about to take their second victory here in Rome in 6 hours. Into the Roman corner for the final time. That checkered flag is about to wave. It's Robinson. Mr. Ed takes victory. What a move to take the win. Robinson wins for the first time in the Italian F4 Championship with a spectacular pass around the outside of Consani. And the unfortunate Macagnani, Andy home in second, DCC in position 3. Robinson, Ed, the Brit from Mallorca in Spain, has taken the German team's second victory here today at Vallelunga. Ed Robinson wins race 2, round 2 of the Italian F4 Champion here at the Long Valley Circuit, north of the Italian capital. Nobody here at the track this afternoon can say he did not deserve that. Robinson, Ed, wins here today. Al Paxoy has taken the rookie victory. Oscar Peto on the rookie podium, and a great comeback from Kingsley Zhang after a DNF this morning. He's on the rookie podium, just denying Florentine Hatema. The same again this afternoon. Kingsley Zhang, 8th outright, and 3rd on the rookie podium. Hatema, and what about Maud Nielsen? In P10, that's brilliant from the Dane for the Real Racing Team from grid 26. We'll check the results for you in just a moment. Ed Robinson has taken victory from Andy Consani, and another podium for the Romanian David Cosma Christopher. There's Nielsen pulling into pit lane in P10 for the Real Racing Team from grid 26. They do have a very quick racing car and a quick young Danish driver as well. The second Dane, David Walter, does come home incredibly in the points in 14th after being 27th and off the road at the end of the first lap. So the drivers will drive into what is the new podium here at Vallelunga and park just beneath it, victory lane, NASCAR style. Lauda will be down there to greet the new race winner, a new race winner in the Italian F4 Championship, Robinson and Andy Consani. That's the speed we saw from the Frenchman at Misano. He gets the result here this afternoon. Ed Robinson wins race 2 here at Vallelunga this afternoon.
Very nicely done there from Edu Robertson, who once more takes his first win of the season. Of course, not able to do so in Misano. Is able to do so, though, here in Vallelunga. Which is a very nice performance from himself. As we take a look there, David Cosma Christopher making his way through the hairpin. But the celebrations will well and truly be underway for the team down there. For Eddie Robertson, of course, once more, for the 5th time this season, will win the Rookie Championship, or the Rookie win. Very nicely done.
Oh, very well done. You took back the lead, but not without some risk, and you won.
Yeah, well, I kind of saw that opportunity and I thought it was too good to miss out, so I just took it. And I said, just keep the pedal to the floor and see what happens. So, yeah. But it turned out to be very, very good. Very good win.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ed. Everybody here at the circuit is so happy for you. Us Racing take their second victory. We take a look at the highlights of race 2 here this afternoon. As the sun set, it was Robinson on pole position. An initial good getaway, but Marcagnani from the second row of the grid, the Roman here in Rome, raced by to take the race lead as Luba Roykov was slow to get away at the back of the grid. Marcagnani going wheel to wheel with Robinson, and it was Nicolò who took the lead as they raced down into Jiminy 1. Pedro Lima and Bader Al Salati going through the gravel on the first lap. Consani through to second place, taking the pole sitter, Robinson, who dropped back to 3rd. Marcagnani raced away to build a lead of 1.5 seconds. And then this, the 2 Brazilians, Toniolo and Pedro Lima, take each other out into the gravel. That brought out the safety car. And Marcagnani from the race lead was spotted and came home in 24th position. Robinson took the victory from Andy Consani with Cosma Christopher on the podium in 3rd. Christopher.
So Vallelunga putting on an absolute show this afternoon for the Italian F4 Championship. David Cosmo Christopher making his way out onto the podium along with Andy Consani. And of course our race winner, Edu Robertson, the Spanish driver, the French driver, and of course the Belgium driver in position 3. Giuseppe Zagzami handing out the trophies. And of course, Giuseppe Zagzami, the owner of the Vallelunga circuit as well. But very nicely done there. And now for the national anthem. The F4 Italian Championship. Absolutely amazing. And now the celebrations will be well underway. Race number 3, of course, will be happening tomorrow from 3:45 along with F1 Academy and the Formula Regional European Championship. But that wraps up today's action from Vallelunga. We'll be back from 3:45 for race 2 and race 3. Of course, for race 3 tomorrow with the heat final from 3:30 on Thursday. Catch you then. Bye-bye.
We are halfway through the weekend here at Vallelunga. We're back tomorrow morning for race 3 and the final 36 to line up on the grid at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed. We know they're celebrating in Mallorca. Robertson wins. We'll see you for race 3 tomorrow morning.